What's going on, everybody? Today, I am reviewing the 2013 iteration of the LEGO Star Wars Jabba's Sail Barge set. This set originally retailed for a retail price in the United States of $120, but now, as many of you may know, it retails for a lot more now. If you want this set incomplete and either used or new condition, it's going to run you upwards of $300. And what makes this set so expensive is there's only been 2 iterations of it in LEGO before this one, and one from I think 2006, though that could be wrong. I know it's an earlier version of it though. And what also makes this version of the Sail Barge so expensive is the Slave Leia minifigure and the Max Rebo. The Slave Leia, highly unlikely for them to remake it, however Max Rebo might come back in a potential remake of this set. So, this is one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets in my collection, and let's go ahead and get into my first impressions. So, my first impressions of the Jabba Sail Barge set is that it's a very impressive set to have on display. It looks great, and it's one of the more iconic scenes from Return of the Jedi. Looking at it, there are few sticker pieces. You can only really see some down here on these tiles and on the window, which I like a lot, as I hate placing LEGO stickers, so the less stickers in a set, the better, in my opinion. And what also sticks out to me are these 2 sail pieces, which are exclusive to this set, and they look really good. My only big complaint with this is I wish it was just a little bit bigger. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of space to display minifigures on top of the barge, which is where most of the action takes place in the Return of the Jedi movie. But this is designed to be a playset, so that's understandable. And if we move this to the other side, you can see it's basically a mirror image of the other, except the minifigures aren't facing that way, but you can make them face that way anyway, though. And it's really easy to spin this around too and move it for play because there are actually wheels at the very bottom of the sail barge. You can kind of see wheel pieces down there, which allow you to easily move it back and forth on display. Another detail with the sail barge is you're actually able to see a full interior, and you can move all of these flaps down. You can also move these windows down as well, and you can see a nice little interior where Jabba the Hutt is sitting. And the first thing we have here are these pieces, which what these are for is actually the front of the sail barge is able to open up and you can see a cannon, and that's just ammunition for the cannon that slides out from the front of the sail barge. There's also a prison cell right there and a small kitchen, as well as a place for Jabba to sit. But to get a better look at the sail barge, there's another thing you can do. You can also completely remove the roof from the barge as well. So now that we have the roof removed, it's a lot easier to see the details. You can also push back all of these as well, so you can really get a good look inside of the sail barge. And my impressions on this, it's very small, but it fits Jabba, which I think is the main purpose of it. You also have this little area to pose Max Rebo, and I'll show what he looks like inside of his little, I guess, like space drum set. I know that's not what they actually call it, so if any of you guys know, definitely let me know. But you can also see the other side of the prison cell right here, and there's a small kitchen down here. So the interior is definitely not the highlight of this set, I would say, but it's still cool that they have included it. In a future model, I think they should definitely expand upon it because it's a bit bland, but that's really my only complaint with the inside. You can also fit a minifigure inside of this prison cell very easily, so you could put Leia inside of there, or any of the other protagonists of the Return of the Jedi movie can easily fit in there. I'm sure you could fit multiple minifigures, but I think it is designed just for one. So if we remove Jabba, you can see that's the small pedestal that he sits on. It's a nice little carpet display. I wish they included Salacious Crumb to go with this, but he does come in the 2012 Jabba's Palace, so if you have both, it would look really cool to have them displayed together, but fortunately he is not included. And here is Max Rebo on his little instrument. And what's cool about this as well is you can actually fully spin his little drum set right here, which is nice. Little added play feature. But that's about all there is in the interior. There's also a drumstick and a fish hanging above the kitchen over here, but not much going on as far as the interior is concerned. I think the big focus was the exterior of the sail barge and the top, which is what we'll get into next. So the roof of the sail barge isn't actually attached by any studs. It kind of just sits on top of a few tiled pieces. So it's kind of flimsy, but it's designed to easily be removable so you can access the interior. And there's a few details on here. I really like how they use these skeleton legs to have this nice little balcony area. And there's also a cannon right here, which is able to rotate. And they have another smaller version of this cannon down here, which also rotates a little bit, but not as much as this. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the minifigures so we can actually see that play feature in function. Now that we have all of our minifigures removed, you can more easily see this turret, and it's able to rotate around like this, and you can actually fire these two torpedoes, as they are some of LEGO's flick missiles that they have. They use them more in these older sets. I feel like recently they've been replaced by the spring-loaded missiles, which are better, in my opinion, but I think from the exterior, this set looks really good. And the other big play feature is going to be the front of this. You can just lift this up and out pops the cannon. And you can, of course, load this with the ammunition we saw earlier to have another play feature. So that is the bulk of the sail barge. From the back, it also looks pretty nice. I like the angles that they accomplish right here. Though these gaps are kind of a little ugly, so in a future model, I would like if they were somehow able to cover those up with new pieces and I guess new building techniques as well. And one final detail, these fins right here are also able to extend on both sides, and they can retract as well, which is nice. And I think the sail barge in general is definitely a very good set, I would say. It's, I would say, a must-have for a Return of the Jedi display. It looks really good. And it goes even better if you have the Desert Skiff Escape set. But let's get into the most expensive part of this set, which are the minifigures, and I would say one of the main selling points for the sail barge. So now on to the most exciting part, which are the minifigures. Now, most of these are very expensive. I think every single minifigure is exclusive to the set. Technically, the R2-D2 is exclusive because this is the only model that has that serving tray. But this model of R2 can be found in other sets, just without the serving tray. So, included in this set is the Waiter R2-D2, the Skiff Guard, Rey, Max Rebo, Slave Leia, and Jabba the Hutt, who also does come in the 2012 Jabba's Palace set. So, the most expensive minifigures, and my two favorites in this set, are Max Rebo and Slave Leia, which both go for a little over $100. And then Rey and Jabba the Hutt both trend around the $50 range, so they are also pretty expensive. The Skiff Guard and R2 aren't typically very pricey, around like $7 to $10 I think is their price range, but I think the minifigures in the set are outstanding. Probably the best part of this set, and why it is so popular, I would argue. And what's really cool with most of these minifigures is they have exclusive pieces to them, which make them truly unique. So for example, what separates this Slave Leia from the other versions is that it has this exclusive hairpiece, which looks really nice. It's a nice molded soft plastic piece, and it definitely differentiates it from the other versions. And then for Max Rebo and Rey, I really like the molded heads for them as well. This is a hard plastic for him, but Max Rebo's is kind of a softer one, and he's definitely my favorite minifigure in this set. Definitely a really popular one. There's a ton of detail on him. And then of course we have Jabba, who is this big molded piece. You can move his face around as well, which is really nice. And those are the minifigures. They're pretty detailed, but let me know what you guys think about them. Which is your favorite in the set? So this is the finished Jabba's sail barge. Personally, I think this set is really good, though it does have its flaws. It is over 10 years old, though, so I can't be too critical when grading how good this set is, but I think it still holds up today, which I can't really say too much about LEGO sets that are 10 years old. Usually by today's standards, they are severely outdated and they don't look very good, but I think this still looks solid. My big complaints are that I wish the actual deck was a lot bigger so you could pose more minifigures on it and kind of have more detailed fight scenes on display, but besides that, I think it's really solid. It looks really detailed all across the set. The only thing that stands out are these ugly gaps on the back of the sail barge, but I think it's a pretty good display set. Minifigures are outstanding, and it's one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets. It's a solid 8 out of 10, I would say. But it looks even better if you have the Desert Skiff Escape, which is not included, but I'll show what it looks like next to that, because it really complements it on display and really makes this model stand out. So as promised, here's what it looks like with the Desert Skiff Escape. It really adds a lot to it, especially the Sarlacc pit. But overall, great set. I'd highly recommend it. So, again, not included. It's just the sail barge. But let me know what you guys think of this LEGO set. And would you buy it for your collection at its current price? I feel like it's a little too overpriced, but I think it's a solid set. And I'd give it an 8 out of 10. So let me know what you guys think. And if you guys want me to review any other LEGO Star Wars sets that I have in my collection, let me know and definitely drop a comment. And I'll try and do one on a set you guys request if I have it. So that's all for my review, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next LEGO video.